Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who catches his wife on the verge of having an affair with a married man with his sleuthing skills. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. Recently, my wife began an acquaintance with one of her friend's married male coworkers. She told me about him and that he was funny. They began texting each other stupid memes, and soon began subtly flirting, which I discovered after snooping on her phone. A few days after, I checked her phone again and saw she'd deleted the entire chat history with the guy, and had now taken to always carrying her phone with her to the washroom. Technology is an amazing thing. Sometime before, she had installed a copy of her chat app on her computer so that messages are updated in real time on both phone and PC. Clearly, she forgot about doing that. This week, I came home while she was in the bathroom, which in itself was strange for the time of day. I decided to check the PC to see if she was messaging him, and indeed she was. Amazingly, I discovered that she met him on that day during work hours at a bar. I knew nothing of this. From their texting, I discovered that it was their first time out together, but that they were planning to meet again. The flirting was way beyond innocent stage. It seems that they definitely are into each other and that the next step was inevitable. From their texting, I know that they've never had any sexual encounters. All sorts of things are going through my mind. I've even begun contemplating letting his wife know anonymously what's going on, or planning elaborate revenge schemes. My wife and I both had cheating and other issues in the past, but we've been working on it. We've been a bit cold with each other over the last few months though, which is due to no small part to me, and my inability to communicate positively, which she complains about often. And also my lack of general affection. I usually let things solve or not solve themselves by leaving them alone and not dealing with them or talking about them. We have a great 6-year-old kid. I don't want to break up with her, but I'm really confused and nervous as to how to approach this and move forward, or not. Update. After reading the comments on the original post, I decided to confront the guy. I called him and told him I knew what was going on and that I'm going to contact his wife with the evidence. His first response was denial, but he quickly changed his tune after I read out some of the texts. I told him he had to cut off all contact with my wife immediately if there was going to be any chance of me not notifying his wife, which I haven't so far. He quickly agreed to this without a second thought. Immediately after speaking to him, I called my wife. I asked her if she wanted a divorce. She said no nervously. I told her that I just called AP and I will then call his wife to let her know what they were up to. So either cut all ties with him or face the consequences, which would include divorce. She frantically agreed. When I got home, she wanted to find out how I knew. I brushed it aside, saying it doesn't matter how I knew. What mattered was that she was a liar and a cheater. She said there will be no contact and that she was sorry. I told her she was only sorry because I found out. I deliberately avoided speaking much to her for a day. This morning, I told her she needs to make a plan to move on with her life without me, find an apartment, etc. She began wailing that she didn't want to lose me and that she would do anything to save our marriage. She's been texting me non-stop all day, begging for forgiveness, and that she didn't want to lose our family. I'm really confused as to how to proceed. If it were just me and her, I would get the divorce, but I don't want our 6-year-old kid to suffer from this. My wife is an exceptional mother, and our child is very loving and always wants hugs from both of us. We've had good times, but this betrayal will play in my mind for years to come, I'm certain. Any advice is welcome. OP, don't make any decisions that have permanent consequences for a while. Give yourself time for your emotions to settle a little. Obviously, you will be up and down and all over the place for quite a while, but it should settle and become a bit less intense within a few weeks. Then you can make decisions based on how you're feeling then. Now for some comments. So here's the shitty thing. Nothing you do can make your wife not have that affair. If she truly wants to, then she'll find a way. What you can do is take back your power over yourself. I say be completely honest. Tell her that you know everything and how it makes you feel. This is your moment to show concern for her and your relationship and life together. To tell her how you feel about her, and that, if it's true, you can and will forgive what has happened up to this point. I can't guarantee that will make her open her eyes and change what's going on, but if she doesn't, you at least won't be in the same boat as a lot of us, wondering if you could have stopped it or not. Tell the guy's wife. She has a right to know what her husband is doing behind her back, and make an informed decision on how to move forward with her life. Not only that, but your wife might not be the only woman he's been going after. His wife needs to know so that she can go get herself checked and make sure the guy hasn't given her an STD. People forget that there are health concerns as well when dealing with these types of situations. Story 2. I'm a good man. I've always tried to be a good person. I've been successful in life and mostly in my family. I went through a rough divorce, one where my wife rebounded to a maniac that no one saw coming. Through assaults and nightmare situations, I was at my weakest but holding strong. I'm a single dad now, raising 2 teens on my own by court order. My separation last spring, I was okay. I'd always been the primary parent and relished the opportunity. I had a new career back in my old city. High profile, high stress, nothing new. My previous company had stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars from me, bankrupted, and left me high and dry. I was working through it though. Always a man of ultimate confidence. Never afraid to walk into the room and be the center. Feigning confidence came with ease. I always loved and cared deeply, maybe sometimes too much. The divorce was happening. I wasn't sad. I was free to find love. Then I met her, online. She was beautiful, early 40s. Eyes that radiated and a smile that made me warm all over. We chatted for a couple of weeks. She was smart, funny, good job. She has left a bad relationship. A short one with a guy who paid her no attention. Flag 1. She asked if I'd make time for her, unlike him. I would. She had no children. She hadn't been married. Flag 2. We met for dinner. She was late. She explained because she had a visitor, her ex. This sex addict narcissist, known in town enough for his business. She apologized. We had an amazing night, kissed, couldn't wait to meet again. We did and made love. She was amazing in every way. For months we dated, a small break when she said she was confused because of her relentless ex. Flag 10 by this point. I said I'd give her space. Within a day, she was back and making me love her, making me feel amazing while I went through a personal hell with a divorce that had escalated to insanity. We took short trips together. I met her friends. She had no real family. A stepdad. He loved me. Her friends and coworkers all did. She hid me from social media. Just a like or love emoji here and there. He was still present. I saw text messages. She told me that he wouldn't leave her alone, but he remained on her social media. She still ran his Facebook page. When I confronted, she told me because she was such a nice person she couldn't bear hurting him until our relationship grew. But she would never ever see him, try to remain friends with him, like her other ex-boyfriends. I was weak. I accepted. I was already so vulnerable, and I loved her so much I didn't want to face letting go. She spent Christmas with me and my family, having no family of her own. Everyone loved her. Our physical and emotional attraction was strong. I cherished every moment. We texted all day, tried new recipes, new restaurants, booked a vacation. Shortly after Christmas, she went dark. I felt something was wrong and asked, and she sent me an email saying she wanted to break up. The romance wasn't there. I knew it was coming because on New Year's morning, I quickly saw a notification from him. "Hi baby, how's your head? Did you have to do the walk of shame?" I hurt and I asked. She said she wished he'd just go away, but he didn't. I didn't either. When she broke up with me, I was okay. I told her how much I loved her. She never said it back. And I told her that for me to get through it, I needed space and no communication. I would not be traveling to Mexico with her, but the bill was paid. A couple of weeks and she was communicating saying she missed me. I was still weak. One night, I was nearby and saw her ex's vehicle at her house. I was hurt. I had maintained I needed to keep away. For me, for my kids, for my sanity. She obliged mostly. One night, her stepdad was over and she texted, "Please come, please. I need you. I miss you." I was euphoric, in heaven. I wanted to see her and be with her. I wanted to marry her and give her my heart forever. I assumed she had given up on the creep, the guy who treated her awful. Maybe I wasn't a rebound. I told her I was scared and she insisted. I went and bought flowers and arrived. She kissed me deeply. We ate and her stepdad left. We spent the night making out, making love. I left and she sent me sweet texts. I was in heaven. In my 42 years, I never loved so hard, and maybe it was because I didn't want to. We made plans to go out the next night. I went and upgraded our Mexico trip and got her the room she wanted. I was going to surprise her and come as she had wanted me to go. That day, I got a text that plans had changed and she needed to see her girlfriends that needed her. I was okay with it. She was going out and I would wait to surprise her. I was uneasy though. I put the resort package together and wanted to surprise her. Leave it under her front door. I arrived at midnight and his vehicle was there. I knew what happened. I cried. I deleted and blocked her on social media and told her, "Best of luck, I only wish you have a wonderful life, XO." She responded to the other text I had sent like nothing happened and then realized my last message was a goodbye. A week went by and she emailed and asked how I wanted to handle the hotel room payment. This led to my confrontation, letting her know I knew about him. She started to deny it and quickly apologized for lying. She hadn't let go of him. He still pranced around town as a single, never acknowledged her existence. Maybe paying her back for getting with me. She did a full stop, pretending she didn't know I liked her that much. I cried. I told her that I was doing fine until that night of reconciliation. It's why I needed to stay away. She blamed it on her missing me so much, and she's only human. The problem was that evening I went to see her and her stepdad. It made me fall so deeply for her that I couldn't turn back. I was done for. In love. I was all in. I found out that it had been going on all along. I was a guy she would use to pay back her asshole ex-boyfriend. She'd been sleeping with him when she could, or rather when he said she could the entire time we were together. She was so sweet and nice and perfect. She was everything I ever wanted to grow old with. It was all fake. She had destroyed other men too. And now it's painful. We said our goodbyes. She's still with him part-time. She's alone in Mexico now, but I've been dying. I haven't functioned. I can't eat. I've lost 30 pounds. I can't sleep. She's all I think about. I can't stop looking at her on social media. I've never ever in my life been so sad and hurt. I know I should hate her. I know I should block every piece of her out of my vision and focus on my kids and my career. I went to the doctor to get medicine. I requested therapy as I'm in a place I never knew before. I'd loved, but never like this. Maybe because I was already so vulnerable. She knew it too. To be lied to for almost half a year. To learn you were a pawn in an awful game. To fall so madly in love and have it snuffed out like it was nothing. She claims to be a person who dreaded hurting anyone ever, never fought, and was honest. She was none of it. And I still love her so much and only want to see her again. Have back what wasn't real. I'm weak, and this is my story. I'm sorry you're going through this, OP. You deserve so much better. Cut her off completely. She's simply evil. Don't check her social media. It will only bring back memories. Time will heal your pain, and I hope you find someone who will love you and treat you better. Now for some comments. I'm so sorry it happened to you. Please take care of yourself. It breaks my heart to read your story. If you want to talk, then feel free to PM me. I know it hurts a lot. Sometimes sharing it with someone outside of your life helps. I feel terrible for you, sir. To those like us who love that hard, a year may seem like 100. People like that use others for instant gratification, like you say, a pawn in an awful game. The only thing that runs through my head is how to go forward. I have read this place for a long time and, although helpful, seems full of contradictions. Love but not so hard. Be a couple but not dependent. Be concerned but don't actually try to help solve your partner's personal issues. I hope you get over this, man.